Why do we write a summary? Please answer my question. Why do we write a summary? What is the purpose of summary?
So the purpose of summary is to basically have all the points in a short paragraph or something.
Okay,
All
then
the important points.
okay, when we have the original thing, why do we need to write a summary? What is the point?
So to
But
get
it
a
could
rough
be that
idea
the
of what is given.
Sorry?
To get a rough idea of what is given.
Okay, to get a rough idea what is given. Why can't you read the entire thing? Why do you need to read only summary to get a rough idea? Yeah, answer me. Why can't we read the full details, full report, or a
it
paper?
takes a lot of time.
So the basic purpose of summary is to save the time. Because when you don't have sufficient time, so you may not be able to spend the required time. So that time summary comes in handy that will serve the purpose. So the executive summary it is used among the executives. Executive means in the business executive, you take the top officers in the company. They use the executive summary for many important decision-making process, for their regular meeting, discussion, and everything. Assume that a company CEO is there. You could have seen such kind of scenes in a lot of movies. A big company CEO kind of a hero or somebody will be coming. Someone else will be just running behind them, telling their schedule, and they'll be simply summarizing what is that particular day they are supposed to do. And similarly, when they are going to attend the meeting also, again, they'll tell that what is the meeting is all about, what decision they are going to make, what are the discussion things they have to do. They'll feed him with some brief information to address in the meeting. So the executive summary is the summary written for executives. The executive will not write a summary. The executive summary is written to aid and facilitate the executives to take decision to run the business source. Right? So this is what the thing. So in the summary, you will find the highlights of the important points, problems, solutions, and findings and conclusions. See, assume that you are the CEO of a general manager of a company. Suddenly, your employees call for a strike. You need to address them. What are the things you have to keep it in your mind to when you address them? Come on, guys, just respond.
So we have to request the our employees not to do strike, and we have to give some brief summary to them why they are doing and what the require that they want, and we have to clarify their what their requirements, etc. And we have to
Good.
stop this.
Good. See, as a general manager, you may not know the reason immediately why they have called for a strike. Immediately, you will ask your subordinate or our line managers, what is the issue? You will ask them. They'll tell them, oh, they are asking the rise in their salary. They want to pay hike. They want new facilities. So they'll brief to the entire other managers. They'll brief the things to them. That's one way. Or the other way, normally the general manager will have the personal assistant, PA. He will collect the required information from the different departments. He will briefly make a report and he will give it to him as an executive summary. So this is what the total problem. This is what we have given pay hike in the last year, and they are expecting 20% pay hike this year. For the last 2 years, due to the COVID, we have not given any pay hike. So they are demanding that, but they have given request last month or last year. We have not responded to their request. So now they have gone for the strike. Because if general manager, if he doesn't know all these details, he will not be able to handle the crowd. So the executive summary helps him to understand the concept. That's what first thing the highlight will be clearly given to them. What is the problem? And solution also will be given in case they have decided to give a pay hike, but it has not been implemented. And that also will be there. We discussed in the last board meeting for the pay hike, but still it has not been implemented. Probably you can announce in this meeting to call out to cancel the strike that 5% pay hike will be there. So all these things will be added in the executive summary. So finally, he will have a quick glance through the summary. Then he will go and address and sort of the issue. This is how. This is the main purpose of the executive summary, because the general manager will have so many things to take care. He's not the person only to manage the employees. He has to manage the marketing, he has to manage the production, he has to manage the sales, everything. So he may not have all the detail, but this, whenever he go to the particular department meeting, immediately the information will be given to him in the form of summary so that he will accordingly address and he will fix the next target. So executive summary generally used only in the business context mainly, and in certain team managerial things also the executive summary is used. You take a principal of a college, a vice chancellor of a university, they address the people immediately. They will be briefed about the information what he is addressing. So he will make use of all the information. Then finally he will address the category. So this is what basically executive summary. The main component of summary will be the highlights of the important points, problems, solution, findings, and conclusion will be there. And it is generally written for an outside audience or executive, but here you outside audience means you don't just you can leave this, but you take only executive. It is generally written for an executive in a way that allows the executive to grasp the essentials without having to read all the materials. So he doesn't require to read the entire report. Simply the highlight of the report will be given to him. So he will present in a such a way that he knows A to Z of the report. That is how the company works, because they cannot do everything on their own. This is the purpose of executive summary. Why it is called executive summary? I already have told you that because it is used by the executives because they don't have time to read the entire report, but they need to understand the entire outcome of the report clearly, so that they'll be able to ask. Sometimes they need to go for negotiation, so they need to ask meaningful questions, or they need to answer the intelligent questions. They have to take a decision. All these things will happen through this executive summary only. That's why they need the summary very essential, because assume that the manager has to read every report of every department, sorry, general manager, then he will be able to take a decision. It will take years together to complete the process. That's why instead of reading 300-page document, within 3 pages, the entire thing will be given to him, all the based on the what you call the point which I have given in the first slide as a highlight, important point, problem, solution, findings, and conclusion. Got it? That is the reason it is called executive summary, because executive will take basic input from the summary only, not from the original report or a proposal. And the usage of executive summary usually in the business plans. See, when a company bids for a new business proposal, they have a plan to acquire the new company. They start a new company. They go for business contest or anything. Obviously, this executive summary is used for their plan, investment proposal, grant proposal, project proposal, as well as for the internal some report. The very easiest way to make you to understand, whenever you had attended your school annual day function, what will be the major thing apart from cultural? Before the cultural, there will be one important thing: normal function, price distribution, and your principal could have read annual report of your school, your school days. That annual report is the executive summary of the entire events happened in your school based on the achievement and the new the challenges you faced, the achievement and the other benchmarks in the school, everything will be there. But principal will never prepare that annual report. Principal will have so many things to take care. So some team of faculty members, they'll prepare probably assistant principal, PA of the principal, and some other faculty will assist to prepare this report. Principal only just to present the summary in the form of report. The reason is because the principal role he has to take care of many things. Not to see he himself has to prepare everything means to take it will unnecessarily disturb his the regular routine work. That's why it is always facilitated by somebody else. Finally, he will prepare it. And this was certain summaries will have a specific formats. For example, CRAN proposals and all will have a specific format. Again, even if you take annual report, that will have a format. And if it is the brief faculty meeting, brief employee meeting, there will be a format. So I actually executive summary will be in different nature, but based on the occasion, the format will differ and the idea also slightly will change. So the main point, according to the situation, the particular given context, the given summary should suffice the executive to address or solve that particular issue. That's a major thing. That's it. These are the tips to write an executive summary. Okay, just I'll tell you certain tips, then I'll give you certain case study, then you have to write the summary. So the best time to write the summary is after you have completed the full plan. So here, this summary you need to take in a such a way that you are going to submit the business proposal. For that business proposal, the summary has to be prepared. So for that summary, before you submit your original proposal, initially you need to submit as a brief summary. For that, you need to write. The first thing, you cannot write a summary without completing the full plan. If you do not have the full idea in your mind, you can't prepare an executive summary. Second thing, you need to summarize the most important elements of the full plan or a proposal concisely. You cannot leave anything unaddressed in the summary. You should touch everything. No stone should be left unturned in the summary. Everything should be touched, but in a brief way. And very important things, keep all the things brief and to the point. No need to explain in detail, just to be brief and concise. And the last one, you can tailor your content to the people that will be reading the summary, or you will be addressing them. See, you submit a business proposal in the government agency. You submit a business proposal in the private party. So the government agency's expectation will be different from the private agency. So you need to slightly tailor-made your summary according to the situation and need. Then finally you need to prepare. What happens if you submit as if you're submitting to the government agency? The private player may not accept your summary because they may require in different format. So you need to understand exactly what is the need. Accordingly, you need to, the core idea remains unchanged, but the presentation technique you have to change as per the need. This is the see, I am giving idea for the executive summary in the terms of submitting the business proposal. That's how I have prepared this one. So now your business proposal, the business proposal, the executive summary, business proposal, executive summary. What are the basic things? This is the overview. You should clearly address the problem. What is the main issue you are going to target? What is the solution you are providing? You need to highlight the solution and the mechanism it works. And what are the key elements you have to prove that your particular business model will become successful? And at the end, you need to mention clearly what will be the financial, what we call responsibilities, how much they need to invest or what will be the return of investment. Everything should be clearly and in a brief manner should have been mentioned in the executive summary. See, kindly make a note. I am addressing the executive summary now I've taken one example, business proposal submission. Next, we'll see, these are the parameters, we'll see one by one. To the problem. What is the problem and how big is it? Who is the target audience? Who is affected by this problem? Are there currently any solution to this problem? Who are the competitors? And let me ask you a question. Before Ola introduced in India, were there any big players like Ola as a cab operators in India? Can anybody tell me?
No, sir.
No. So before Ola, we had only regional players. For instance, if we take in Chennai or in Tamil Nadu, we had one player called Fast Track. And other regional players, probably somebody could be, maybe good in KK Nagar. Only very area specific, location specific players are only available at the time. But Ola, when came into the picture, they came with a new solution. That's what they wanted to connect the entire India. Almost they started from the major cities, then finally they expanded. Because you could have learned about the Ola success story. Ola CEO, he worked in Uber previously. So he got an idea from that thing. Uber was an international cab agency, you know that. So he wanted to bring in such kind of thing in India. So then he devised Ola platform. So here, what is the problem and how big is it? India is a very thickly populated country. And then he would have got some statistics, how many people are using cabs everyday life, how many agencies are there. Then he will say that, assume that some statistic will say that probably around 10 crore people are using car and the cabs and they don't have the one common platform. They are unable to check the price properly. So when I come out with some kind of solution, it will be a wonderful business model. In that way, he could have proposed his business plan. Target audience, absolutely all the middle class, those who are able to use the cab as their mode of transportation. Who is affected by this problem, especially office goers, the middle level executive office goers, those who use a cab as their mode of transportation. Are there currently any solution to this problem? Yes, there are solutions in the regional level. That's what I was already telling you. There are cabs available in the every area specific cabs companies they're operating. But none of them were able to have a centralized system to connect the entire city, to connect the entire state, and to connect the entire India. Then they just you can say that my model needs to connect the entire whole city. Who is the competition? Competition is absolutely only local vendors, local cab operators. So this is how he would address the problem. Assume that you are the Ola CEO, first time you are pitching in with your idea, just you pitching your idea to the probably your investors. You need to explain why this Ola is necessary and why, how it will become a business model. So when you explain the problem, you need to address in this order. After this problem, you need to tell them solution. That's what now you are here to offer the solution. You need to tell them clearly, how does your business solve the problem? You can say that your company will be connecting the entire city under one umbrella, and the people will know exactly how much they need to pay even before they finish the travel. Because before that, all the cab agency used to tell the charge only at the end of the journey. Nobody would give the journey price in the beginning of the journey itself. But whereas these Ola, Uber only, you can know the estimated price. But whereas in the other cab channel, generally they would say only rough, but you cannot rely on that. But once this Ola and other Uber and other agencies they came into the picture, it has become very clear. Is it a simple or a complex solution? Very simple. The people need only a simple app they need to download, and the rest of the thing you will take care easily, but they'll become familiarized. Then there may be a question from the other uh, party who is attending. Then how would you tap the uneducated people? Then you'll give them a record. Uneducated people using the apps are very less. Only the office goers are using much. So that will not affect much. Slowly, they'll also will come into the picture. Once we make our app as user friendly, then anybody can use it. And that way you can give a solution. If it is complex, how can you make it simple or describe it more simply? That's what the solution. If you sometimes, how do they know that the Google map and other things, they may ask some question based on your model. Then you need to, what you call, explain them clearly. Next comes highlights. You need to highlight what will be the return of investment and in what basis you will get the return of investment, how the business model is going to work. You should tell them the strength, weakness, that's what SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threats, everything you need to clearly tell them so that you can, what you call, win the bet. Otherwise, they may not be ready to invest on your company. Third thing, what are the keys you are using to become successful? What is your marketing strategy? What resources will you need? Partnership, funding, material, exactly you need to tell them clearly. What does your timeline look like? If you start today, you need to tell them clear timeline for the next 5 to 10 years. When you tell them that today you invest, assume that 100 crore, when will they'll be able to get a break even? Maybe after 2 years, they'll get a break even. From third year onwards, they'll be getting 20% return. 20% will become 30, 40. That way you need to tell them clearly based on the timeline. And financial highlights here, probably you can do some more micro on level analysis. How this 100 crore will become 200 crore in down the line after 6 years or 7 years, or what are the other different potential it will open up once the business grow into exponential level. So all these things you need to tell them clearly from which year onward they'll be able to take the what you call dividends. That all those things you need to tell them in the micro level financial highlights. And here we have a simple, I'll show you certain basic startup plans, certain companies which you have come across. But initially, how did they start? First, here there is a idea about the Airbnb. Have you heard about Airbnb?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please explain this to your classmates.
Sir, it's basically like a hotel room, but you get a space and you book it for 2 days or 3 days, the duration you want to stay. And it's located on various places throughout India, throughout the world.
Yeah,
Don't-
yeah. So certain corrections. It is not the hotel. All Airbnb rented things are individual houses. In case you have a house which where you have an extra room, that room alone can be what you call rented for people in what you call through online app, that is Airbnb. You can go and stay. In case you have a house, you don't want to give it for a normal rent where you'll get only normal return. Instead, you want to use it as the tourist room, then you will get more returns. So this is how it operates. It's not a hotel. Airbnb is not a hotel. It all Airbnb accommodations are private houses. It is rented for the rented to the tourist. But the best thing is you don't have any maintenance cost compared to hotel. They need to pay heavy taxes and other thing. But whereas individual houses, they don't need to pay heavy taxes, and they are able to give it a very less price, competitive price. See, let me tell you my experience. See, I used to travel a lot of places. When I went to US, I stayed in Airbnb accommodation for 6 days, 6 nights in Georgia, Atlanta. Can you imagine? Can you guess what would be my price for the single night in US? I went there for 2019. Any idea or any guess? Wild guess? How much would be the room cost per night?
5,000, 10,000.
$800.
How many dollars? 800. How many dollars? Did you say 800 or Yeah, somebody else?
20 to $30.
No, please say it clearly. I couldn't hear you.
Sir, $50.
50. Okay. See, yes, probably it can be. Normally, if you want to book a hotel reservation in US, even take for the instance Georgia, probably you have to spend minimum 150 to $200. 200, no, at least $100 you need to pay in a day for a normal hotel room. But if I say you my original price, I stayed for entire 7 days just for a $200 because it is only possible in Airbnb. In case in Indian money, that's what at the time it came around just 15 to 16,000, and I inquired in the hotel, and it was around 35 to 40,000 in Indian money at the time, almost 50% less for me. So I took that Airbnb. But there is one more thing: is that sometime it may be a very remote location. You should be careful about the location. Other thing, you need to verify it, and you have to check the review and other thing, and then you have to finally book. But I have a very horrifying story about my stay in Airbnb that I'll explain. I'll tell you in some other class. Okay, now this is the company. They have an app. In case you want to rent your property, you have to register yourself as the resident, and Airbnb will list your property for the public. If they like it, then they'll book it via online. Then you have to, as per you have to follow certain protocols. You have to follow all those things. You have to keep the room clean and everything as per their protocol. Once it is ready, if it is booked, obviously the resident would come and you have to hand over the key and all the procedure as usual. But this, when it became all these are it started as a business startup. Facebook, Airbnb, Buffer, Square, and everything. Just we'll see what is Airbnb alone. Just a minute. Let me take this call. Okay. Just a minute. Yeah. So Airbnb is a platform that allows people to list, find, and rent lodging. This company is one of the greatest startup success stories of our time. Airbnb's pitch desk has become most used reference for entrepreneurs around the world. The takeaway is it's all about hooking your audience. You need to describe your business using as few words as possible. Imagine telling a 5-year-old what your business is about. If you can't do that, it's time to put some time into nailing it down. That means, generally, whenever you want to start a business proposal, the only thing is you need to come out with a new novel idea. See, in the business environment, only the ideas become money, not because if you come out with different ideas, it can be workable idea. If you can do that, you can convert it to a product or a service, then you'll make money. So similarly, assume that Airbnb is was there, it started long back. In case in the future something else may come like this, so at the time you may be the company, you may want to start your such kind of business. Then you need to present this business proposal in a business pitch contest, probably with the what you call the angel investors. You need to attract the investment. So there you need to present it. So you have to present with this type of format. And so next is, so this is enough for you to understand the executive summary for the business proposal. Similarly, according to the situation, the need, you can create different, you have to prepare business executive summary for the different purposes, and you need to present it. Okay, fine. Now let me give you the case study. You have to prepare a business summary quickly, and you need to tell me. Okay, shall I give you the case? All of you take paper and pen, write it down. Take paper and pen. Okay. Now you need to collect the details. whatever the case I'm going to give. And you need to present it to me in another 5 minutes. I'm going to give a only simple case. You have to give a summary. Got it? Is that fine? Okay. What kind of a person you are right from your birth? You need to give me a brief summary about your characteristics right from your toddler stage to till today. You can take 5 minutes time. You can go and talk to a mother or father or anybody and make a brief summary. Then you need to highlight me with the summary about who you are, who you were, who you are now, with a brief highlighted points as I have given it. Got the point? Yes or no? Respond to me.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Start now.
Sir, can you please repeat the question?
So you need to give me a brief description about your personality right from the beginning stage, that's toddler stage to till now. You may not know, see, certain things you will remember, certain things you could have forgotten. So that's why you should talk to a mother or father or somebody, your grandma, grandpa, and get to know about you as an individual person, what kind of person, how you were, and how did you evolve, all those things you need to give me a clear picture. You take 5 minutes.
Can we type it out?
Yeah, type it or you can unmute and you can talk to me.
It's a basically summary, right, sir? Short points.
Yes, yes, yes. You should not.
Sir, unmute.
Yeah.
Sir, yeah. Sir, you are muted, sir.
You have to present it in a precise and concise manner. Some of you can unmute and just tell brief, give me a brief summary, executive summary. Yeah. Who wants to come first? Steve Aldrin.
May I, sir?
Yeah. Can you present your summary?
Yes, sir. Uh, the journey start. I was born in a small village of Uttar Pradesh, and I started my schooling from the age of 5 years. And being a bright student, uh, among the bright students of the schools, and till the second standard, I study in my village area schools. After that, my father took me to the city area, and I start my schooling from the third class onward in the city. And that's the time period where a bright student comes to a dumb student, change into a dumb student, because there was a drastic change from village life to the city life. But the same condition is going on up to the seventh standard. After that, I meet some of my friends. They encourage me. I see that there was always a competition, and so the journey always again began from a dumb student to the smart student, become the representative of the school, and become the head boy of the school with the 11th standard. After that, there was a sudden drastic change again in my life when I lost my father in the 2020, and again I lost my grandfather in the 2021. And the change brings a lot of experience, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things, sudden changes. But the thing is that the life is a journey and we have to move on it. I get my train back onto the track and start preparing for the G mains. I clear my G mains in the first attempt and know my potential. After that, I joined the VIT, and now I'm in the class of Mr. Rajesh Karan sir, and that's the small summary of my life.
Sorry to hear that you have lost your father. Yes, you made a wonderful line. Yeah, life is a journey. Anything has to go on. Very good. I appreciate your maturity and everything. Yeah, your summary is perfect. Good. To give a brief, it's like a movie. How did you start and how it till now? How it is there? Very good. Nice. Yeah. Next, Steve Aldrin. Are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can
Go
I
ahead.
get some like five minutes? I'm actually com about to
Already,
complete.
already given 5 minutes. Okay, Ritesh Singh.
Sir, even I need some time.
Okay, someone has raised hand. Go ahead. Bhavya Mishra. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Okay, so when I was born, my mother was still studying, doing her study of law. So I brought up in a single room where she was studying with along me, and when I was in nursery, it was the only chance when I got first position in the class. After that, my principal just made did my admission in first class, so I didn't study the pre-LKG and all that classes. So it was a drastic change for a student because I'm the youngest in my class right now. Also, after that, we went to a bigger city, so where I got admission in a normal school, not a very high profile school. So at that time I was like a bright student who used to got the second or the third position in the class. But after that when I got in after the third class I got means I got admission in a very big school, like in the whole area, and also it was a big city, Jaipur. So there were many schools, but it was one of them. So there were so bright students, and also it was like uh, a student who is even younger in mentality also, and also his mindset is like a child. So there was some kind of immaturities in me at that time, and also my mind was not completely developed according to them. Like there was a age difference of 2 to 3 years. So I got dull, a little bit dull till seventh. Then after that, I got to start again my studies and all. In class ninth, I really got interested in maths and all. After like before that, we had CCE pattern in which you have only first term and second terms and all, which you have to just learn and then write in the exams. But then you got whole syllabus. You have to understand everything. Then I got to know what really education is, then what really a subject matters to me. Then after that, I got interested in maths and science. Then I scored a good score in class 10. Then I went to bits Pilani. I got admission. I don't know by luck or not, but then a student who is younger than the other students got admission in hostel. So at that time, everyone was still, even if it was a day school, it was fine. But if you are in hostel, you are like younger than the previous class. You are like the my age was of similar to the ninth standard students. So it was like the students used to troll you and all, and demotivate you. But still I tried harder. As my friend told, life is a journey, anything can happen. So I also tried, and a miracle happened that everyone just like became friends with me after a hard time, not a very hard time, but it was a little bit hard time. And then I got a perfect batch of the mess in charge and all. So it was also a happiness. And then this COVID situation came. We faced first there was the first online class, which was the batch was our one, which was facing first online classes. It was of even it was time of 12th class. So we were not having studies properly. We were not able to contact with teachers properly, because in starting 3 months there was no declaration that there will be online class or not. And so many of distractions, and we got disturbed from everything. Also we got disruption and distractions both. And after that, like when the COVID situation was going on, I transferred to the means I just settled in Pilanis itself, like to study from the teachers by in physically, because the schools were not opening at that time, because COVID was a very hard time for everyone. Many of them lost their family members. But a hard tragedy got to means like happened with me. Like after 2 days of my means birthday, my father got accident. So like it was also a hard time for me. And then there were my J means. So I literally got depressed at that time. But then my parents were with me. Now he's fine. So at that time he also said one thing, that don't worry about me, just focus on studies. So but I missed the JE and all. I had not means my potential was there, but I didn't did study very well. So then, luckily, I got admission in VIT, and now I'm trying to prove that like the chance which I lost in the past, I wouldn't make this the same mistake in the future. So right now, I'm trying my best. Thank you, sir.
Very good, very good. Yeah, very subtly given. Good, fine. Okay, yeah, very nice. Others, you can upload your write-up in the class note. Okay, because already it is 2:54. I have taken attendance. So, and thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.